Hello and welcome to Just One Question from Insights at the Edge. I'm Chris Rock.
And I'm Mallory Corbin. We're producers at the Sounds True podcast network. We work with Tami on Insights at the Edge to bring you transformational ideas from wisdom teachers around the world.
And every week on this show, we pull out some of the most inspiring, most transformational ideas from those hundreds of conversations, and we bring them to you in the form of one question and one answer.
Thus the name, Just One Question.
We hope you enjoy. So today's question hits home for me quite literally in that it is answering the problem of that anxiety that you wake up with at 3 a.m. Do you ever do that, Mallory?
Oh, just all the time.
Just every night? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Same. I mean, I did it this morning. I wake up and it's not that I wake up actually anxious, but I do wake up thinking about things I have to do or random thoughts, just anything. My brain is just on immediately. And then it's really difficult to go back to sleep.
Right. And all of that, though, is pretty rooted in anxiety, I would say.
It's rooted in anxiety. Yeah. They're not necessarily anxious thoughts, but they're coming from anxiety. You're right. And so today we're going to hear from Martha Beck, who is an expert on navigating anxiety. And when she and Tami talked, Tami brought up this problem of waking up with anxiety and asked her what to do. And I'll be honest, this morning and a few other mornings recently, I've actually tried Martha's solution and it has helped. I love it.
Okay, I'm excited. Here is Martha Beck answering Tami's question, what do I do at 3 a.m?
Help.
Stay with us.
This powerful forward-moving trajectory of beyond anxiety is once we've calmed ourselves and been kind to ourselves, this notion that we can now activate our creative genius. And I had a question about this when it's 3 a.m. And because this is when my hall of mirrors seems to take over the most, is when I wake up, can't go back to sleep. Okay, I'm being kind to myself. But how could I shift into a right brain creative state and stay lying in bed?
I wouldn't do it at 3 a.m. Once I started cranking up the creativity, I could barely sleep because I was filled with this overwhelming joy at creation. And I would just bounce out of bed at 3 or 4 a.m. and I couldn't go back to sleep. So what I finally learned to do is duplicate the calming effect that I know I can use with my own person. And audiobooks are my favorite way. Stuff from Sounds True. I said, I feel like I've had Sounds True as a life partner for the last many decades. I get my little phone. I put on a book, very often a Sounds True book. I slow it down to half speed. So you have to slow down to listen to it. And I just put on something that's comforting and meditative. I love Pema Chodron. I love Shinzen Young's stuff that you recorded. And I leave that on very softly by my pillow. They have a timer thing so you can turn it off. That to me is absolute gold. The other thing you could do is, a series of self-care measures like wrapping yourself very tightly in a blanket. I literally say to myself, what can I do for you? What's the nicest thing I could say to you? What is the nicest? Could I get a really furry blanket and put it next to my face? Could I tell you how wonderful your life is? Like I do all this positive self-talk and all these small acts of kindness. One of my dear friends, Liz Gilbert, if people out there have read Eat, Pray, Love, there's this scene where she opens the book when she's in complete massive anxiety and depression. And at the end of sobbing out her heart on the bathroom floor, she feels or hears a voice. And she later came to believe that it was the voice of God. And it simply said, go back to bed, Liz. And she said, that's why I knew it was God, because it didn't do a decree. It just said, sweetheart, get back in bed. I try to tune into that energy. It's so simple. And when your brain starts to wire for it, Liz now does this thing called two-way prayer where she talks to God every day and God talks back. And she says, it may just be the best part of me. I don't care. The fact is it works. So yeah, just to find the kindest part of yourself and ask it to do its stuff. But one of the things that our culture has really disrupted is our sleep cycle. Because without electric lights, now I have a whole system where I put on amber colored glasses 2 hours before I'm ready to sleep. And I put a bright light on in the morning right near my face, because my circadian rhythm was a mess after going through graduate school, while having 3 kids. And there are electric lights around. There are all these very, very unexpected to our nervous systems, all these things that we have from modern society that we didn't evolve to handle. So be very super gentle with yourselves, everybody out there, around sleep, and try to err on the side of more sleep rather than less. I had one really bad bout with anxiety. It started at birth and went till I was 60. I was an extremely anxious child and extremely anxious adult. I was just extremely anxious. And I thought it was just something I had to live with. As you know, in my adult years, I started getting much more focused on spiritual matters. I began meditating and slowly sort of educated myself to the point where I could sit. And after a few hours at first, a few minutes as the years went by, I could find a place of real stillness and calm, which was wonderful. It was a sanctuary. But I thought high anxiety was just the price of being human. As you probably know, if you sit in meditation with your anxiety, which I had done for decades, you see that it's lying. You see that it's always about the future. It's never about the present moment. You see that most of the things you're anxious about never happen. You see that it never follows through on its promise of making things feel safe. Anxiety, one of its most devious lies is you will only be safe if you are always looking for danger. So to feel safe, you have to never feel safe. So I have to say, I sometimes feel anxiety when I wake up at night. And then I calm myself using the methods I've just described. But it's more frequent by far now that my first thought when I wake up is, oh, bed, good. Warm bed. I'm like a golden retriever. I like bed. And then I'm like, okay, have to get up to pee. Go and do that. Come back, get back in. Oh, bed. I mean, it's very primitive, Tami. It is because the right hemisphere is grounded in the body. And the more we do these techniques that take us away from the negativity bias and take us into positive, joyful, creative action, the more we rewire the brain. Because I'm sure you've done a million programs talking about neuroplasticity and how what fires together wires together. And we are taught to wire up our brains for anxiety. I'm always amazed that Jeff Bezos frequently says that he tells all Amazon employees to wake up terrified. That's his phrase. And stay terrified all day, because that's how you succeed. And these people are not working for much money. But he's literally saying thousands, maybe millions of people should live in constant fear so that I can have more money. And everyone in the culture goes, well, that sounds like a good idea. I mean, that's insane. And if you can only lie awake and listen to Tami Simon's wonderful voice say, Sounds True presents, like it gives you a loving mother right there next to you, rocking the cradle. And after all the times you've been yanked out of bed by alarm clocks and other people's schedules, you deserve that. That would be my answer.
This has been Just One Question. You can listen to the full episode on your preferred podcast platform or at soundstrue.com. Also, Martha Beck is hosting a retreat at Omega Institute this August called North Star Rising, and you can find out more about that at eomega.org/true. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
the Sounds True Podcast Network.